I just watched the Mike Posner. I'm a fan of Mike Posner. I'm a friend from the past. Went to Duke together, but he's on a spiritual awakening right now.
Yeah.
Serious one. Not that I'm there.
He's walking across the USA.
Yes.
Walking.
I don't even know how to digest that.
He's about a month. I saw recently. He's a month in. He's like a little over a month in.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to take a year.
He's 300 miles in out of, it's about a month. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like a tenth of the way there.
It's going to take a year.
It's going to take a year for him to walk. Why do you think he's walking across? Did he say?
Well, yeah. He basically was just like, when he's been on a big spiritual journey, but really like when his father passed, it kind of put into perspective very quickly, like I'm going to die, like I'm going to die one day. And there's a bunch of things that he wanted to do. And he was just sick of putting things off. The walk was an idea, something he wanted to do. And like kind of got like spearheaded, kind of kicked him in the ass when his father passed.
Yep.
He's like, yo, I'm going to go do this, and it takes, dude, we were talking about this earlier in the kitchen.
Yep.
Like I can't take like 3 days off of like not thinking or applying any music or like working on my business. Say I just work on business a little that day. I handle a few things and I kind of don't really do shit. Like I wake up with guilt.
Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the old me, the basic, like, how are you even letting this opportunity? You should be attacking, making 3 songs a day. You learn that's not possible over time.
Right.
And it's obviously a different beast. Going and taking swings is different than sitting here and making music. You know what I mean? There's creative inspiration times and there's times where you're not creatively inspired. So long story short, like I was watching them. We were talking about this earlier in the kitchen, but like for Posner to be able to that just shows like an unbelievable amount of freedom internally in your head that you're like, you know what, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to let a year, it's a prime of his life. He's 31. I think he's a year, whatever he is. He's in his early 30s, whatever it is. Prime of your life, prime of his career.
Taking a year off to walk across the United States.
To walk across by himself.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, like it's inspiring. I thought about it, I digested it, and I think it's going to garner more attention. By the time this is past, like he already has a bunch of people joining him, and he has his album that he put out, and I think.
So I just keep thinking of Forrest Gump when he runs across the United States.
He looks just like him too. He's like the real life Forrest Gump.
I don't know if anyone's made that comparison.
I'm sure. He looks like him. You know what I mean? And he's got the long hair and the beard, and it's inspiring regardless. I don't know if that's something I could ever do. You know what I mean? I don't think. Like I said, you have to get to a place of enlightenment where you're like, I'm letting a year of my life fly right here.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go do this. Walking on the highway. Like, a lot of times it's just like walking on the highway. He's posting videos. He's like getting rained on, walking down the highway by himself. I'm like, is this guy, So.
Yeah. I think it's incredible.
It is incredible.
Yeah.
But I was saying, I've been following his journey a bunch. And I don't liken how I'm feeling at all. I think there's similarities there. But he has a song called Stuck in the Middle. And I heard him talk about it. I actually watched the podcast earlier today he was on, and it's kind of how I feel, man. Like I've gotten this new window of like where I think a lot of my life energy should go towards. And it's being a better person, giving, helping people. You know what I mean? And eliminating the ego that most people in music and entertainment, like the ego is driving everything.
Exactly.
It really is. It's an ego-driven thing, and that's okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of has to be an entertainer. Like, it is about you. You know what I mean? Like, you have a team working around you. It's all about you, you know? So, I mean, regardless of all that, it just feels like when it's stuck in the middle, it's kind of, I don't, sometimes when I feel like I'm sitting here and making music, all we do is make music, and then we go out at night, come back, party, get fucked up, wake up, do it again, And it started to feel like, wait, what are we really doing? Like when we're on tour, it's different. We're celebrating the music, we're celebrating the fans, we're creating experiences.
Right.
That all makes sense to me, But then when we come out to LA, I have this is kind of where I'm just kind of in the middle of everything. I'm kind of famous. I'm kind of not. You know what I mean? I don't know if I really want to be famous, but I kind of do.
Yeah.
I want the success. I want the people. We all want to be loved. We want to be appreciated for our efforts and are appreciated for our talents and skills. So you want that, but I don't want to be famous. I have great friends that are very famous, and
Yeah.
I don't want what they have.
It's hard. Yeah.
It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just so many things about this phase of our lives and where I am that I just feel like sitting up here and bullshitting and talking with the guys in the house. I want to create this platform for the fans where they can call in.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear their story. Maybe I could say some shit that really helps them.
Yep.
And to me, you know, when you brought up earlier about giving, like this guy goes and walks dogs, you know what I mean? And you said it earlier, kind of say what you said earlier, but it kind of struck a chord with me in the sense of, like, I really do genuinely feel like as I've achieved a bunch of shit I really wanted and I realized I didn't feel that fulfilled, how else do I feel good? And giving is a big part of that.
Yeah.
Giving, just, they said everything I read, the law of attraction, the 7 laws of spiritual success, one of them is law of giving.
Yeah.
And it's, you can't get if you don't give. You know, like the universe will, if you're giving, and you're not like, you know, what am I getting back? You know what I mean? That's how good things flow to you.
One question that really struck a chord with me that someone asked me somewhere, and now like I ask everyone because like I can kind of judge a person based on how they answer it. Mm-hmm. The question is, life is a blank, and you have to fill in the blank with one word. Life is a blank.
Is it too typical of an answer to say journey?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
See, like a journey or a ride. That's a common answer,
Right.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many different answers, and kind of depending on how you answer it, that's kind of how you need to assess. You know what you need to do to make yourself feel fulfilled and feel happy.
Right. I mean, it's a gift. It's a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Mine, like a huge focus of mine is just like simpling my perspective back down to like what it really means to be alive.
Yeah.
The fact that you get to wake up and both my arms are on my body and my.
So yeah, life is a gift. That's an answer.
Yeah, life is a gift. Yeah. Like when you really break it down, bro, I got in, like, people don't get how deep into this shit I am, bro. I wake up,
Yeah.
instead of rolling over and getting on my phone, still some days I do this because sometimes there's shit going on. I'm getting a bunch of messages.
Mm-hmm.
I'm slowly eliminating the phone out of my fucking life because I've been watching so much shit about attention span and how bad fragmented thoughts. Like if I'm working on something and then I'm looking at my phone, it could take 15 minutes to get back into where I was mentally.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'm slowly eliminating that. But back to what I was saying, like I'll wake up and read these affirmations I wrote for myself. Like I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my happiness. I'm grateful for my friends, my family's health. All these things that's what I'm putting out in I'm putting that all at the forefront of my brain before I get up, start my day. Like I'll wake up at 11. Excuse me. I wake up at 11. I won't even get out of bed or get out of my room till 12:15. I'm doing, like I said, affirmations and then meditation, which I'm getting into, you guys know, which is hilarious. If you told me I was fucking meditating and like really putting a lot of energy into my life, like, finding that meditative state. Yep. I'd be like, what, dude? Like, what happened to me? You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's really a focal point. Like it's these are the things that I'm trying to establish peace at the same time. Like, again, back to stuck in the middle. I think peace and success, peace might even be higher than success on my totem pole now. Before, like, peace came with the success. Like, in my head, you know what I mean? Like, as long as I'm rocking and rolling, people are listening. We're touring and rock, like all of our friends are here, we're all alive. That's all we need, you know?
Right.
And it's really changed. It's really shifted. I'm on a journey towards peace a lot. Like really, that's my focal point. And it's definitely been rewarding, but it's also been brought on by a few of the feelings we talked about earlier. The what now?
Yep.
Look around, like I got everything I thought I wanted. What the fuck now?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, do you think you feel that way because of getting older or because you've reached a level of success?
I'll be honest, man. When you talk about age, like age means jack shit to me.
Right.
I'm going to be honest. It's mainly because of our lifestyle.
Yep.
Dude, I wake up, my lifestyle is more laid back than it was in high school. No one's telling me to get the fuck out of bed. I don't have to go do shit or listen to shit that I don't want to listen to.
Right.
And I could fucking do nothing. I could party 5 days straight and no one's going to fucking say jack shit. I earned that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes that can be someone's worst enemy.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. But now, like, I really so the age thing doesn't work in my brain that way. I think I'm very blessed and lucky to have that be an option or be how it is. But I really I really genuinely think it's about the circumstance. It's circumstantial. You know, it's been such a growing up phase. So there is an age factor, but when I say growing up, I mean going through shit.
Yeah, experiences.
Really, dude, the what now thing is like a huge part of this. Like I really kind of got fucked up when I realized I was rich and kind of famous and had all my friends here and the house I wanted and everything. And I didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't feel much different at all, you know? And also like, bro, being in love for the first time. I haven't talked about this publicly, but fuck.
Yeah, it fucks you up.
Shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
talk about, you know, I'm the opposite of being in love my whole life, bro. I was like
Yeah.
the quintessential jock. If I had a girlfriend, I wasn't fucking even treating it like it was a real relationship. Maybe had two. My whole life.
Yeah.
I was always like, yo, I'm gonna be a professional baseball player. I don't have time for this. You know?
Yeah.
And then I come out here, I was, we're fucking crushing it for like a month. And then I run into the girl of my dreams, and we catch this crazy wave. Goes on for 4 years.
Yeah. It's wild.
Bro, it was a whole other fucking thing. But on the flip side, the heartbreak of like the shit we've gone through, and now that you know it's kind of done, that's another thing where you start like take it. You know, it's life rattling in the sense of like, all right, dude, who am I? Who am I without this person? What are my priorities? What makes me happy? What's my purpose? All these things. And that's like, so I think the two those are the two big factors that drove me to this direction. But and I don't even think it's a negative. I think it's a beautiful direction. Like I'm sharing it because I'm urging anyone, you go at your own pace. Life will dictate, but it's not something to be ashamed of. It's actually something that I feel like has been liberating. There's challenges. There's challenges to it because sometimes I'm like, dude, who gives a fuck? Just be yourself. Like, instead of, listening to this podcast or meditating or doing the affirmations, like sometimes take an objective look at myself and be like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? But when it's all said and done over this past year, so like I've grown so much in a positive direction as a person.
Right.
I'm just on the path of trying to be the best person I can be. I think I genuinely, for the first time, I am on that path.
And you recommend that for everyone?
Totally. I mean, I think life will guide you in the places you're supposed to go. Everyone's different. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I think, as you said, when it's called growing up, like as you get older, you start realizing a lot of this shit that you prioritized, or even the people you idolized and the things you wanted to be like, things you wanted to be around, they change.
They change. Yep.
You know? And that's happened for me, but I think mainly it's because of the circumstances of like my life kind of threw it in my face. Like, look, dude, like there's more to this.
Right.
There's more to like, it's not, and I'm actually like blessed. We get to make music, or we get to talk to our fans and, share how we're feeling creatively, and through our art we get to tell stories. That's a lot of people don't have that option.
Speaking of talking to your fans, I know you reached out on Twitter, and some of them actually had some questions for you. I think we should just go through some of them.
Yeah, for sure.
A few people actually, Ian and Nate, they asked what your favorite books are, what you're reading right now. It can probably tie into some of the stuff you're talking about.
I mean, totally.
So I don't have any recommendations?
I don't even fuck around with fiction, or like you have some books you want me to read and I want to read them. I'm just so in a space of like,
I don't read fiction either.
No, I know you don't read your biopics and that shit you can learn from, obviously.
Yeah.
But like even shit just for fun, like when I read, I'm like trying to grow from it directly. You know what I mean? Like someone, like there's been so if I have to pick one book, it's The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. If you're like interested in any of the shit that I was just talking about at all, as far as just how you're reflecting on your own life and trying to figure out your direction and what means the most to you. Overall, if your soul or your intuition's pointing you in the direction of self-improvement whatsoever, whatever it is, this is where to start. It's like the Bible for me. I've read it 8 times.
Wow.
It's short. Short. You could read it in a day if you really wanted to. But I'll actually just wake up and be like, I'll read one chapter. I'll just go to one law. One of them's law of giving, and it just makes me feel. It's a reminder, but it also just like makes me. These are the types of things that I want my brain digesting, versus what the fuck happened at Rolling Loud last night, or like any of this shit on Instagram that means nothing to me, nothing, but it's taking up so much of my psyche. Like I was just out there with Versace, like trying to figure out how to like, if there's an app or whatever, just like shut off. Just be like, dude, you've been on Instagram for 43 minutes today. Like you're at your limit. You know what I mean?
Where keep it down.
Because it's just like it becomes a habit, man.
Yep.
I'm in the mold of breaking habits right now. Like that's where I am. I'm trying to break the habits I don't like. I'm trying to feed the habits I do like. About
create
myself.
new habits. Exactly.
And I really am.
Yep.
And it's not easy.
I know. That's why Daigo said he stopped watching porn. Good for you, man.
Sometimes you got to put the porn down.
How many months?
So you stopped right before we left for tour.
What is that?
So
Like
you
4 months?
Jacking it you weren't jacking it on the bus. The bus isn't really a place for jacking off.
4 months without porn? Are you fucking nuts? Yeah. We can't hear you, by the way.
You gotta get him mic'd.
We'll get your mic
next
up next time.
So for the Steves out there or anyone listening, we're building out a podcast space, but we're gonna be every day's gonna be different. Sometimes we have Blue friends, I'm gonna have guests, and we'll just kind of Versace will come on, everyone will come on, we'll just bullshit. And as you can already tell, we'll range from. Are you filming? As you can already tell, we'll range from self-improvement to porn in the matter of seconds. But yeah, that's in a nutshell what this podcast is like. Honestly, porn, man. I watched more. Like I feel like I watched more porn when I was a kid. You know what I mean? We also have a lot of sex.
Yeah, well, when you're a kid, it's like new and exciting. And when we were kids,
When I say kids, like in the teens,
no, but like we grew up with the internet, which is kind of crazy.
kinda.
We kind of grew up with the internet.
Yeah.
Especially like when we were all probably going through, becoming a man and like all that type of stuff.
You mean like when you can ejaculate?
Do you
Do you remember the first time you came?
Yes.
Because you guys were like, yes.
You really don't remember?
I think I do. It's not like such a vivid memory as you guys.
Oh man, yeah, I'm there right now.
Were you just like, holy shit?
Yeah.
Did you even know what was going on?
Yeah, of course.
You were waiting for it.
Yeah. But it's funny though, because like,
how old were you?
man, I mean, I was fucking jacking it before I could even like produce sperm.
Same. I remember that.
But then, my day of reaching ejaculate, I was probably like in 7th grade.
Yeah.
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 And dude, this was back before, like the kids like in the generation after us, like they don't even know what we went through.
No.
Like this is
Now we sound like parents.
no,
You guys had no idea what we went through.
I find myself doing this more and more because there's been such like a shift in technology. But when I was in middle school, like there was no streaming videos of any sort.
We didn't have cell phones.
Like YouTube wasn't really
it
a
was
thing.
very rare for you to have a cell. If you had one, it was like Nokia and shit you played like Snake on.
Forget about streaming 4K quality porn. Like you couldn't stream any videos back then, let alone streaming porn.
Right.
So like I'm just lucky enough to be like on my browser that's like has like 17 megabytes of RAM, which you probably don't understand what that means, but it's not a lot.
I don't.
And I'm lucky enough to like pull up like a nude photo shoot of someone.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did, I'm like, it's gonna be a busy one tonight.
Take it to the. Do you ever jack off in school? You can be honest.
There's been some urinal incidents.
For sure.
I know. We went into a very strange rabbit hole of porn and jacking off. Let's go on a shift because I know Zach had a really nice question for us. He wanted us to talk about totally go in a different direction. Let's talk about self-belief and what it takes to bring what you want into reality.
Yeah.
I know it's a very broad question.
Yes. So I think
We've been talking about like what we want, but what it takes to get there and what.
Yeah, self-belief is like the underlying core belief. I think that really like anybody who's achieving great things, they believe they can. It starts with that.
Right.
And I'm in along with all the stuff I was talking about, that's, you know, taking my mental energy and the shit I'm focused on. A big part of it is commandeering my self-belief and not allowing any, like, we're all humans.
Right.
Wake up, we have negative thoughts, we have doubts.
Mm-hmm.
Does this person like this? Does this person like that? So I'm in my daily reading or my daily methods of things that I'm working on now.
Mm-hmm.
Empowering my own self-belief is a big part of it.
Yep.
It really is. And you'd think at this point, I don't need that. I think at every point, it's not only necessary, but it's just like, what else are you working on? You're not working on your own everything starts in the mind.
Yes, very true.
So like I started realizing that I'd been like, for the first fucking 25 years of my life, I kind of like, I didn't put my psyche in the back seat, but it really just was kind of an afterthought. Like I was who I was, and I was really blessed. Like I was blessed to be athletically gifted and have great parents and have the determination to go be great, you know? So it kind of felt like, oh, I was like meant to be great. Like I'm just great. You know what I mean? And you realize as you get older, like, no, a lot of that was instilled in me. You know, a lot of that is also a blessing. But now, you know, as life continues, I'm in the business of feeding my own self-belief.
Right.
I don't even fucking like now I bring my subconscious thoughts into my conscious. If I'm having subconsciously, we'll have doubts or negative thoughts about ourselves all the time. Now when I feel those, I'm like, what the fuck you talking about, bro? No, you can do anything, you know, like to myself. And that's where I think, like, that's how valuable I think self-belief is. That I'm still every day dedicating parts of my time and thought to it.
Adding on to that, because I think a lot of what you're talking about with that is self-belief in terms of being happy. And that's kind of where it all starts.
Yes.
I think on the other end of it, and it ties into that too, but the other end of it is what it takes and what you need to do for success. And that's not the same as doing what it takes to be happy.
Right.
I think they're two separate things.
Yeah, but I think they're
tied together.
Right.
For sure.
I was speaking more broadly for both, but I know what you're saying. I think in order to be successful, like, okay, so here's how they're connected. In order for you to be successful, we know how many hours, how much blood, sweat, tears go into it. Really, truly. If you can have success overnight with an idea or something, but like if you're really going to, you know, continue over a long period of time and keep progressing, and, you know, like in life, bro, you can't have one good idea, make a bunch of money and not do anything. You're not going to be happy.
Right.
Right. So putting the effort and the time into it that it takes to be great and to continue to transcend, that takes self-belief. Like, you have to believe in yourself.
Well, that's the keep going
to
mantra.
to a certain amount.
Yeah.
For you to even sit here and work on music for 10 hours a night, and maybe you don't even come up with anything good. But it's that self-belief that, like, I will. You know what I mean? It's willpower.
Yep.
But like, I think the core, that's why I thought it was kind of the underlying self-belief is the underlying key to it. Because if you don't believe it, bro, best believe that when you get a little distraction, there's an NBA game on, or is there some people want to go out, you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna go.
Right.
But if you really believe that you're gonna come up here and you're gonna come up with something great, and like this is your purpose,
Yep.
and you can be great, that's what's gonna keep you in the chair. That's what's gonna keep you in the gym. It's gonna keep you whatever, you know what I mean? And so that's why I think eliminating the doubt in your mind as much as you humanly possible is a huge component of like success over a long period of time.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, honestly, a lot of doubt came from, and I'm sure for a lot of people, is always comparing yourself to other people. And when it comes down to it, and it took me a while to figure this out, the only way you're going to stop doubting yourself is when you stop comparing yourself and your accolades and your talent and your skill to other people, and only measure it against yourself and how you're progressing. And as long as you're improving and you're improving yourself and you're improving your craft or whatever it is you're doing, as long as you're improving every day and you're putting that effort in, like you said, every day, and you're not comparing yourself to everyone else,
right?
That's how you're gonna stop doubting yourself.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I totally agree.
You compare yourself to yesterday, and that's it.
Totally.
That's it.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of this shit that I've been reading and learning about is the ego versus the self. And nowadays, man, I realized how much my ego was like driving my life, and it was weird. It was another one of those, like, I've had a lot of awakenings. That was one of them. Like, my ego was driving most of my feelings, most of my emotions, most of my decisions. What are they gonna think? You know, it's none of that. None of that is really the self. It's the ego is this, like, this shell or this act that we have. It's like a Halloween costume, bro. Like, what do these people think who am I supposed to be? You know what I mean? Like, this public persona that the ego hit. And really nowadays, when you talk about comparing, the whole culture makes it so easy to compare.
And I want to touch on that because another thing that I wanted to get your perspective on was when Instagram announced they might start hiding their likes and start hiding followers. What do you think about that?
I like it.
Yeah.
So there's two sides of that coin. I think for people who have built a real brand, and a following, like I know girls. I used to, like, everyone makes fun of Instagram models or whatever, or, you know, pokes fun at it. Like, is that a real job? Like, FYI, bro, it's a real fucking job. 2019. You can go to your fucking job 5 days a week, do a bunch of shit you don't like, and that girl's gonna post one thing, drinking tea, and she's gonna make the same amount of money. You get what I mean? So, I totally see that, and I've grown. I've grown in that. I used to be one of those people that thought it was kind of stupid, and I would kind of that same throw shade at it, like, oh, that's good. That's like, are you a real model? Like, are you really working? Like, what is a real model?
Right.
Fuck it. You guys built a following. So be it if you're just hot. If that's the only thing.
Yep.
Either way, how you're any different from a real fashion model? They're just really fucking hot.
So in that sense, it kind of hurts that whole side of things.
It does. And that's where I was like, I can see the other side of the coin where it's a negative thing for those people. But at the same time, maybe it isn't, because maybe they'll still have their back end analytics and they can still show the brands and they can still get their partnerships.
They can still do it. They can still make it happen.
So that was my one recoil to that. But at this other side, like, especially in the place, like we were just talking about, like, being off my Instagram completely. Like, I don't give a fuck what the fuck is going on. I want to post content for my fans. I want to talk with my fans. Remember the post I had like about a month ago when we were on the road? I was in the bathtub and I, like, wrote a bunch of I wanted to get more active on Instagram with our fans. Really, I'm going to use the podcast to do that.
Right.
And I won't be, this doesn't mean I'm spending more time on my Instagram. You know what I mean? It's just, when I go on, I'm not looking at other people's shit. I'm not fucking on my Explore page with a bunch of shit I don't care about. And they don't care about me. It has no impact on my life. A lot of that comparison talk comes into your head when you're like, oh, look where he is. Wow. I wish I had that many people at my show, or I wish I had that car, that jewelry, or whatever, that girl. All that shit. All that shit creeps into your subconscious, bro. I'm programming myself daily, day in, day out, about shit that I don't really care. It doesn't serve me.
And it forces you to compare yourself to other people.
Even if you don't want to. Even if that's not how you're even wired.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it programs you over time. And all of that. So back to your, like, I just don't, I don't, like, I wouldn't care at all if we couldn't see our likes anymore. Yeah, I get a lot of likes. There's people that get way more likes. You know what I mean? For our business is actually not really, it's not, like, obviously we live on social media. You know how I've operated. I think I've sold every single ticket off my Twitter that we've ever done. We've played 800 fucking shows. So to put it in perspective, it's very important for me and my business and our business. But there's a bigger part of me that I was like, this is better for humanity. This is better for our culture right now.
Yeah, and you know what's great is the person who had to comment on this the most and who had the strongest opinion on it was Kanye West.
What'd he say?
He there's messages or whatever, like public messages between him and the CEO of Twitter saying that, like, he hates where society has gone with social media. And, you know, it's really bad for people's mental health, and it forces people to compare themselves to each other. And
I really do think it's awful.
And of all people, I think, you know, Kanye West says this, which is cool. Gave me a
also,
whole new
Kanye,
appreciation.
It's not that shocking because Kanye, although he's had his ups and downs, he's clearly on a path to, like, enlightenment in his own way.
He's doing those services, church services. Yeah,
but, like, even just if you looked at his Twitter, it was all over the place, and maybe there was drugs involved, maybe there wasn't. I don't even know. He was all over the place, but I really connected with some of the shit he would tweet. And I think also he's so fucking famous. He's so A-list famous
Mm-hmm.
that what the fuck does likes mean to him?
Exactly. Oh yeah, that's true too.
So like
Mm-hmm.
objectively speaking, he's not super impacted by how many likes he's getting. Actually, he's not impacted at all, I don't think. You know?
Yeah.
I think there's a huge community of people. I think there's regular motherfuckers in high school. I can't even imagine how the kids in high school are.
Right.
They're probably so comparative, so engulfed in like, what can I post?
He gets 100 likes. He
Is
gets
the
150
popular
likes.
kid liked my?
Oh, yeah,
He liked my photo.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like
can't imagine being in high school during a time like that.
I can't.
When you judge popularity
I don't
by
think
a
it's
social
good.
media follower.
I really don't think it's good.
It's not good.
There's so many benefits to social media. There's so many negatives to social
And
media.
how often are people themselves on social media?
In general?
Yeah, like they're not. I think a lot of it is almost like
Bless you, Steve.
it's almost a facade in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's people who aren't really truly being themselves, and they're getting liked for that. And it's I don't know, the whole thing is just kind of
The whole cycle of it is very honestly. It has a part of my. You know, we talked about the last few years, like what I've gone through in my psyche.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a part of it. Social media, what people are saying, what they're saying about my music, why isn't it growing as fast as I thought it could?
Yeah.
All of these questions that every time I open my Instagram, it's stirring it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Oh, I'm getting less likes than I used to get last month. What were those posts that got more likes? Should I do more of that? Should I post more of that? Like, and then I'm like,
shit?
who are we living? Like, how you start realizing that it's your ego. It's not even yourself. It's your ego.
Mm-hmm.
Who are we living for? Like these people, I don't even know these people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, there's a huge dialogue that's already happening about social media. I'm just real curious to see where it all goes.
Right.
Because this is uncharted territory, obviously, for humanity in general.
Well, they're testing it out in Canada right now, so we should reach out to our Canadian audience to see how it's going up there.
Are they still testing it?
I don't know. That's
Actually?
last I read about it. They're testing the whole no likes thing.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it either.
I'm not mad at it. I don't think it limits. I think it will kind of bring back the actual reasoning for why it existed.
And I think people are going to post more because they're not going to worry about whether it's going to get
say,
likes or
I think
not.
you'll see people actually being themselves more on social media.
Exactly.
And isn't that kind of what it was all about?
Yeah.
Like sharing. Everyone has a platform. Share who you are.
Yeah,
Connect
exactly.
with people.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I think it could be a good overall direction.
Yeah, I agree. There's actually one more kind of a fun question off topic.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick wants to know about what happened with the bar incident in Milwaukee.
Sheesh.
Do you want to walk through real quick?
Yeah.
I was so stunned that I didn't even film it, to be honest with you.
And this completely combats like a lot of this shit. I'm like overall the shit I've been working on being more peaceful,
Yeah.
being more loving in general, even if you disagree with shit.
No one's judging you here. We can
No,
we
I'm
can,
gonna let it fly.
We can poke
I'm
fun at it
prefacing this because
it
I
was
remember,
fun.
I remember when it happened. Like, you know how I used to have like, wasn't even super temper, but like, you know how I was back in the day. Someone said some shit, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it's
chip on
just
your
also
shoulder.
where I grew up.
Yeah.
Like we just fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I just hit people outside of, you know, like,
Yeah.
and I learned very quickly that was not a proper way of handling things, obviously, and a lot of risk.
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of those feelings came back out though. So you know, most people listening probably been to a show or maybe at least seen clips. I like to go out in the crowd, you know, and fuck with people and the fans and perform out there. And I usually make my way to a bar in the venue. And a lot of times I like to buy the fans shots. All the fans around, you know, whoever wants.
And you buy like 50 shots.
Yeah, like 50, usually 50, right?
And that's a win-win-win. You know, that's a great thing for the fans, a great thing for the establishment, and it's great for everyone.
That's
you know
how
what
I
mean?
fucking see it.
Win-win-win. Yeah.
I don't get how it could be negative.
Right.
Somehow, in some weird line of events of extreme miscommunication, let's put it that way, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get shots for everyone. I say it on the mic. They're like, great. You know, all the fans have come over there anyway because I was standing on the bar.
Yep.
And I hopped down and I'm like, this venue already had a kind of a weird set of rules, whatever, you know, each venue is their own. Mind you, I've just done this for 50 cities
Yeah.
without a hiccup.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, I'm paying them. I'm buying the shots.
Win-win-win.
So whatever my check is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whatever the fee is, you deduct
Yep.
whatever the fuck I spent, right?
Exactly.
And I'd say it to the bartender at this particular venue, right? They're like, they don't do wristbands. So they had to ID every single person.
Yep.
So I said, hey, whatever your process is,
Yeah, do it.
cool.
Yep.
Do your process. I will purchase. I'll fund the next 50 shots. Do your due diligence. That's not an option. They're calling in managers. Meanwhile, the show is stopped. Normally I do it and I go back up on stage and the people over there, they wait and get their shots. But I go back up on stage and the show is flowing. 10 minutes go by, the fucking manager's going by. Like, no one knows this. I'm obviously starting to get upset because it makes no fucking logistical sense. And at one point I was like, I'll have a guy bring over a credit card right now if you don't feel comfortable like billing me after.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was maybe the thing, maybe the case. Like they didn't want me ducking out on it. So I'm like, yo, I'll have a guy bring over a card right now before you even pour the shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
None of this was an option to them. So I got pretty pissed. And then a manager comes over and he's like, oh, and I'm like, bro, get the fuck away from me before I, you know what I mean? Like you are the opposite of what a manager should be doing.
Oh,
you're not managing it. If you had any logic whatsoever,
Yeah.
you're realizing I'm buying $300 worth of shots right now. Just shut the fuck up.
I felt like I was like in between matches at a WWE night.
The theatrics.
Yeah, it wasn't the fight, but it was the theatrics between the fight.
So then I make my way on stage and I grab the mic and I just fucking go bonkers on them.
Yeah.
I said some things that maybe I shouldn't have said in reflection,
Yeah.
but at the same time,
They
like
brought it upon themselves.
they were very, very wrong to the point where the crowd was chanting "fuck the rave, fuck the rave, fuck the rave." And then they cut my mic, and then I told them that I would drag them publicly online if they didn't let me finish the show. So put my mic on, I won't talk about it anymore, and we'll just fucking move on. I played like 2 more songs, and I just fucking went right to the bus because there was a weird ass vibe. The security guards wanted to fight us. It was crazy. That's never happened. We usually love the venue. The venue usually loves us because, one, we're way friendlier than the typical touring.
Yep.
Not to stereotype everyone, but you know, we're very regular guys.
Yes.
And every fucking venue goes out of their way to like tell us that, and they're supportive. Plus, we bring in a big drinking crowd.
Yep.
That is great for them.
Yes.
You know, so it's usually a fucking very nice relationship we have with the venues. Yeah. For whatever reason, this one went south extremely fast.
If there's anything I've learned, especially touring 800 shows with you, it's that we're always going to see something new.
Always.
I mean, in Philadelphia, a fucking speaker lit on fire.
It did.
They tried to evacuate the building. 800 shows never happened.
Yeah.
This one show, a speaker just decided to combust.
Yeah, I started hearing different elements of the song like from my ear. I was like, why does the bass sound so weird over here? I thought, you know, speakers were getting blown or whatever, and then I see smoke.
Yeah.
So I say that, the promoters panic and they evacuate. So there's like, you know, however many people, sold out show.
Yep.
It's like 1,300 people in there, I think. They're evacuating. And I'm thinking there, I'm talking to the sound guy. I'm like, take the speaker outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't on fire.
It was smoking. Yeah, it was
like
smoking.
speakers really can't catch on fire. Logistically, I don't even think they can catch on fire.
Right.
If they're unplugged, how do they catch on fire if they're
Right.
not already on fire? Just bring it out. You know what I mean? Regardless, it was a shit show. A lot of the fans ended up staying in, right? I'd say half the fans.
Yeah, like half went out
and then came back in.
It was a mess, yeah.
It was a train wreck.
Yeah.
But like you said, bro, it's like, I mean, that's you never know to a T. But like when you tour, like something about touring, especially the way we do.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Anything can happen any second. And I think that's
I love it.
on a bigger picture, bro. That's like
We love it.
we love it. I need that tat. We got a tat. We love it on it. I need that.
Oh man.
But no, like I think that's a perfect nutshell example of like you just said. I love it. That's why you never know. It's become so big.
Yeah.
Because everyone loves it.
Yeah.
It's this thing called like. It's really this struck a huge chord with me in that same book I recommended earlier. It's called The Wisdom of Uncertainty, and it's basically if you think about that, like anything if you like, human beings love to be comfortable.
Yep.
It's part of our habitual, like,
We crave routine.
but like just feeling comfortable, of course, comfort. You know, like in your comfort zone. I know this.
Oh yeah.
Nothing's gonna come out and kill me. I know, you know what I mean? This comfort zone. And really that's just an attachment to the past.
Yeah.
If you break it down.
Yep.
You're attached to something you know, which is behind you.
Yeah, your comfort zone was determined
It's
by
in your past though.
Yep,
And
exactly.
guess what? Your past isn't even really a real thing. It's a memory.
Yep.
It's just how you remember it. You know what I mean? So
Some real shit. Huh?
attachment. So the wisdom of uncertainty is like, there's wisdom in not knowing. You guys can't make us laugh back there.
Keep going. Keep going. You're on a roll. Keep going.
If they're gonna be in it, you should just get mic'd up so
No,
you can
it's-
like
we're
laugh.
We're almost done. Just keep going. Finish your
whatever.
thought. Finish your thought. Finish your thought.
No, but the wisdom of uncertainty is like a huge thing that struck a chord. We already had You Never Know. I had it tattooed on my skin, and I read this, and I was like, yes, that's what You Never Know is all about.
Right.
You have to jump into the unknown. For life is about excitement. You know what I mean? Like it, bro. What were we talking about in the kitchen today? I was just like, I don't know why. I've just kind of felt bored this last like week.
Probably in your comfort zone.
Yeah, I'm in a routine. We're trying to be healthy. We wake up. I have my self-care routine, my meditation. That's all something that
I
needs
think
to
it
be
means
there.
we need to take a trip to Vegas.
I think we're gonna go to Nashville and go
Visit the Spearmint Rhino again.
I think we might need to. I think we might need to. Either way, regardless, whatever it is, there's definitely a comfort zone to like us how we're living in LA. You know, like, and like the only version of fun really that I'm really, really like experiencing here is like when we turn up at night.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I don't, to me, that there's something wrong about that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, shouldn't be your only fun.
yeah. And like, granted, I'm working, you know, like most people, the regular person wakes up, goes 9 to 5. They're not having fun at their fucking job.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, because this is also from the book that I'm reading, is the Supermensch,
Yeah. Great book.
which I definitely recommend to anyone. He said that you should take an hour every day and do something that makes you happy or do something that you're passionate about.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And like for you, like I get like you're passionate about making music. You know, it makes you happy. But when was the last time you did something that you didn't care about the outcome? You were just doing it because you just got pure joy out of it. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, partying is one of them. But like, what else? You know?
I think that's really what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's crazy.
there's something missing. And that's really like what this whole journey I feel like I'm on is like figuring out the fucking faults in my habits and life. And as things progress, you have to change. That's the wisdom of the unknown, like the wisdom of uncertainty. You have to, like, it's not just about partying. Like, even partying, bro, like, I'm trying to get fucked up, bag a bitch, you know what I mean? Have fun, do whatever, win beer pong. That's all fun. And, like, that's all fun, but that's not like, it's kind of like surface level fun where at the same time you're like poisoning your body and, you know, you're setting up your next day for like a half-ass shitty day. So like, I see that, you know what I mean? I'm not an idiot. I see the cons to that. And for that to be my only real source of fun, something wrong there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So yeah, what you said exactly, like maybe it's a hobby. I don't know. But at the same time, like delegating an hour of time, that's smart.
An hour a day.
Because to me, like, remember what I said earlier in this podcast? I was just like, if I have a few days or I just waste a whole day where I didn't really work at all, even on the business or whatever, and I just went and I kind of wake up with guilt the next day. You know what I mean? So for me to be able to, like, I need that. I need another source of fun. And it might take changing my psyche on a little bit to where like, oh, this is actually feeding what I need.
Right.
It's not taking away from my time on what I should be working on. It's actually feeding my overall aura or whatever, you know? Like, I think that's really a good point. That's really how I've been feeling, bro.
Yep.
Like, I don't love the cycle of portions of my life that I'm in. And I'm challenging myself. And bro, pain's hard. I mean, growth is pain. Like, growth is painful. The growing pains. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna change things, you're leaving your comfort zone, and guess what? It comes with pain. Comes with maybe some doubt that you didn't think you had, And that's why I'm in on this whole game of like challenging myself, but also like challenging those inner thoughts that like come up with doubt. Nah, there is no doubt, and you try to eliminate those. But yeah, bro, like what you said, that strikes a chord, because it's really how I've been feeling. Like I don't think there's things that need to be rearranged.
Yeah.
In my day to day, now that I'm kind of realizing. I'm in a different headspace.
Yeah, and for you can't relate to this as much because when you got into music, it just was immediately like a business almost. You know what I mean?
Immediately.
For me, like especially for film and music, like I did that since high school. I did that since I was a little kid. And I did it. Like I wish I could go back to those days and I could just do it out of pure joy without wondering about like how many dollars it's going to amount to, how many likes it's going to amount to, how many views it's going to amount to. I did it because I fucking loved it. I go in my backyard. Me and my buddies would make ninja movies, and we premiered at the fucking Super Bowl halftime show. And like that was like fun. You know what I mean? I'd play guitar. I didn't fucking care what I was recording. I was just playing guitar.
Facts.
And I had blast doing it. And as I got older and as it became part of like my job, it's like, okay, like this isn't, I can't really say that this isn't like as pure as it used to be. So then I had to go and look for other things, you know what I mean? Like whatever it is, fucking taking Steve for a walk, fucking whatever, you know?
Dude, it's a real point, bro. It's a real point. I almost think to a fault, my life has been so far a little too pointed, in the sense of like, I'm not necessarily, like, I remember even playing baseball, like, very quickly, for pretty much as I can remember back, it was going to be what I was going to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's a gift, because I knew I was great, So that was a gift. Without all that, I wouldn't be here. So I'm not regretting any of it. Now I'm looking back and challenging myself to change, because I don't think I really had anything. I'm having an epiphany right now. I really don't think I had anything I just did for fun, bro, ever. Is that sick? Am I sick for that?
No.
Dude, really, no. I was a great student because I knew I had to be.
Yep.
I didn't like it. Did it because I had to. Played baseball, like, religiously. Then when I didn't, I played basketball. Maybe basketball. I never thought I was going to be in the NBA. So maybe basketball. But I was competitive as fuck. And it was all for the sport. It was all for, I'm going to get all state this year.
Yep.
So, like, it was always pointed. Like, nothing was just like,
out of pure joy.
I'm living.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking living life in its most purest form.
Yep. Yeah, something to think about.
That's fucking crazy, bro. Like, I really don't think that has existed for me. So we got to change that.
Yeah.
I want anyone listening, hope someone like tweet me and let me know if you can connect with that. Because I really, like, I'm racking my brain right now, and I don't. And I even try to think about, what makes you happy? Like, what makes you happy, and just do it, right?
And it doesn't have to be some grand thing, you know what I mean? It could be something as simple as like I like to cook, or like I like to play video games. Like, just simple.
Yeah,
you know what
got
I mean?
none of that.
Something that brings you peace. Yeah, so something to think about. We'll touch base next week.
Really, like partying, having fun, fucking bitches. For real. That was always like sport. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that is fun. It's still fun to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm back single and we're doing that, and it's fun. But it comes with a lot of the negative I talked about. Like, you wake up, you don't feel good, you have a late start, you eat shitty because you're hungover, and and it's all surface level happiness. It's not like, it's kind of, if you think about it, it's drug or alcohol induced in one way or another too, as well. It's not natural, and don't get me wrong, bro. I'm not Mike Posner. I'm not going to be like, maybe one day I'll be at that level of enlightenment or whatever, but like, I still like to be getting a ratchet ass move and go get fucked up and have fun.
Guilty.
That is fun for me. So like, the fact that that's what I associate what makes you the happiest is also a red flag. And I've been thinking about that. Like, I don't really have shit. If you told me, what makes you happy? Like, seeing my family, being with my friends, people liking, performing. So I'm checking all, like, those are the things. And I do that. I wish I could see my family more. I see my friends every fucking day.
Yep.
You guys are really my only friends. Real friends. Like, I have, obviously.
Real.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I'm so blessed the fact that I get to wake up and live in a house with my friends. Most people our age can't, you know what I mean? So it's just a different ball game. but I think there's parts of me being a well-rounded person that really needs to be built upon, and that's really what I'm doing. But that's kind of how we started talking. Like, you live in this house, like you see the spiritual journey that I'm
Right.
embarking on, and it's early stages. So there's a lot of like inner turmoil for me. There's days where I feel good about it. There's days where I feel bad, you know? But it really, like, I know overall when I go to bed at night, I feel good about it because I know I'm trying to improve myself.
Yep.
I'm not going in the opposite direction as much as they might be baby steps. Like, I'm on the path to self-improvement or making myself a more well-rounded person, which I think in turn will make me a better business person. It will make me a better musician.
Yep.
All those things, you know?
And we're going to follow you on that journey. And we're going to touch base next week. And we're going to see where you're at.
I hope so. I hope so. Is that our closing?
I feel like Dr. Oz. Yeah, whatever.
Did you get the socks or should we show them again?
I think the camera died.
It died?
We were going for so long.
Oh, fuck.
But it's okay, though. We got
That's fine.
Majority of it.
We don't have an ending, though.
It doesn't matter.
It just cuts off immediately.
You can cut off where you want to cut off.
Okay.
Fuck bitches. All right.